Freddie Gibbs is one of those rappers that I've always considered to be on the outskirts of hip hop. To elaborate, similar to artists like Childish Gambino or Kendrick Lamar, Freddie Gibbs is like the gruff veteran that plays it conservative in terms of who he works with and the frequency of new content. His selectiveness leads to each body of work he puts out to ooze with effort, and 2020's Alfredo was no exception. You see, Alfredo was Freddie Gibbs' 8th album and second collaborative album with The Alchemist. For those who aren't familiar, The Alchemist is a producer from Cali who's worked with a wide range of artists spanning all across hip-hop history, from Schoolboy Q and the Migos in 2016 to Nas, 50 Cent, and Snoop Dogg in the early 2000s. My point here being that the combination of synergy and decades worth of experience result in an exceptional body of work. Alfredo was a 10-track, 35-minute project filled with the money, guns, hoes topics you'd expect from modern rap, but blended in a way with the elegance and class that only a pairing like these two could cook up. For example, the album opens with the epic known as 1985, a great song, and in that song, Gibbs mentions how he's similar to Michael Jordan in 1985 because they both traveled with a, quote, cocaine circus. Now, really think about that term for a second, cocaine circus. To the outside viewer, a circus is an event meant to give an audience a sense of joy and spectacle, similar to a competitive basketball game. What the outsider might not realize is that behind the unique personas, there might lie some pain or turmoil from excessive travel or strain on the mind and body, similar to a competitive basketball game. And you add cocaine into that mix, and snorting lines doesn't seem so glamorous after all. While this is just one aspect of one song, Freddie's complicated relationship with drug culture is elaborated on throughout the rest of the project, as well as his expansive knowledge on basketball. Lines like "My execution might be televised," mixed with Gibbs rapping about his disdain for law enforcement, it really paints a grim picture that eerily mirrors the current times. Now combine this lyrical prowess with the production prowess, and Alfredo really shines. The Alchemist does a great job supplying variety while maintaining a common tone throughout each track. The opening track greets listeners with an intense guitar melody, which then shifts into a lo-fi piano beat by the next song. And the juxtaposition here is done in a pretty cohesive way. The way real instruments are utilized is a far cry from an album like Future's High Off Life, which dropped not too long before Alfredo. And just on a little tangent here, I'm not saying that the trap style of hip-hop is bad in any way. I just want to point out that it's different compared to what Freddie is doing here. The samples on here are plentiful, and you're guaranteed to recognize at least one, whether it be from an actual instrumental on a song or a seamless outro transition between two tracks. Each element is a small piece to a larger, elegant atmosphere that the album as a whole creates. An atmosphere that would work well with the likes of Rick Ross, who, non-coincidentally enough, is one of the 4 features on this project. And speaking of the features, I can confidently say that there isn't a bad one here. The aforementioned Rick Ross provides a standard verse with the outlying oddity here and there, which again, pretty standard for Rick Ross. Don't really have too much to complain about. Benny the Butcher also provides a standard above average verse of his caliber, just with a flow that's simply not as slick as his counterparts. Rapper Conway the Machine spits a soul-filled verse that fits perfectly with the rest of Alfredo. Honestly reminded me of Compton's J-Rock, just with some of the word content and the flows. Even the voice too a little bit. Freddie also put Tyler the Creator on here, and of course he kills it on the free-flowing track, Something to Rap About. Look, all in all, there's hard to find much to complain about with Alfredo. Freddie and the Alchemist really mesh well as a unit, and the album as a whole really makes me excited to think about how mind-blowing it would be if Freddie did decide to open up his circle a little more. Imagine if he traded bars with members of TDE or Dreamville. I mean, Cameron would make too much sense on the beat of Babies and Fools. And I'd kill to hear Freddie trade bars with Jay-Z. Imagination aside, based on our letter system grade, I give Alfredo an A-. Alfredo was at one point my personal album of the year. It really has it all. Top-tier rapping, top-tier production, and top-tier mixing and mastering. The brevity of the album really allows it to pack a punch and expand on themes without overstaying its welcome. My main criticism here is that while each song has something to admire, the album can really be boiled down to money, guns, hoes, as I mentioned previously. Adding on, while there is no true bad feature, I don't personally feel like any rapper tops or matches Gibbs on any of these tracks. But again, that's a pretty minor complaint. Regardless, thanks for listening to this quick review, editorial, whatever you want to call it. What did you think of Alfredo? You found any standout tracks? What'd you love? What'd you hate? Let us know in the comments below or on our Instagram page at A-List Playlist, all one word. So with that, I've been Alex, aka Young A-Rob, you feel me? And this has been A-List Playlist. Take care. See you guys soon.